What's up, guys? Mike Babcock here at Tanner, and of course, as you can see here, we have the Bellator middleweight champion Johnny Eblen in the house. Johnny, you got a huge fight coming up, Bellator 290 going down Saturday, February 4th. It's on Paramount Plus, but also on CBS. That feels huge. You are fighting in the co-main event, Anatoly Tokov, who hasn't lost since 2016. The guy's only lost twice in his career. Talk to me about this fight, man. He is a dangerous man, but so are you. You've never lost. I'm pumped for this fight.
Yeah, I'm pumped for this fight too. It's on CBS. His coach Fedor's on the card as well, so it's a very big card, a lot of eyes, and he's a tough opponent. But that's why I called him out early on. I knew he was the next deserving guy. Outside of Mousasi, Anatoly Tokov was the next guy. So as soon as I beat Mousasi, I knew I put my sights on him.
That was the guy you wanted.
That was the guy I wanted to fight from the get. But then there was some talk of Yoel maybe cutting down. I kind of thought he wasn't going to make weight, and it turned out to be true. I don't think he can make 185.
Yeah. That's
why he's doing the whole 205 title fight with Nemkov. So since I kind of saw that, I was like, okay, cool. I kind of called it out. I already knew I was going to fight Anatoly, just figuring out when. And then the whole thing happened with Nemkov and Yoel fighting in February on this card. They were supposed to originally fight on this card. Nemkov pulled out, and then me and Anatoly replaced it, and I couldn't be as happy.
You're obviously becoming a bigger star by the fight. I know we were talking about this a little before. You just sort of just get me in that cage. I want to fight. But being on CBS, that feels like a big deal to me. There are going to be a lot of people watching this thing.
Honestly, being on CBS is secondary to me actually just fighting.
Yeah.
I just really enjoy my job. I like putting on performances and having fun. Whether it's 5 people in a sparring match that are watching me sparring, or it's thousands of people on CBS watching me fight, or eventually a pay-per-view maybe,
Yeah.
I just know it's a step in the right direction. I don't really get caught up with how many eyes are on me. I just like to fight, and I like to put on performances.
He's a really good fighter, like we said. He hasn't lost in years. You've never lost. What do you have to? Where's he most dangerous? What are you going in there saying? Hey, I got to be careful here. Or this guy can really, he can hurt me in this aspect.
Early on in the striking, he hits pretty hard.
Yeah,
and he's a strong individual.
Yeah,
very physical individual. But I'm also strong as well. I also have good cardio. I just think I'm going to outslick him and be faster than him. But a very tough opponent, very strong. Sambo background, a lot of experience. Definitely a very, very tough opponent, but I'm going to make him look like anybody else I've ever fought, I just put a pace on people, and I overwhelm him, overwhelm him with wrestling, striking, the whole 9 yards,
Yeah. Obviously, this is serious stuff, but it's sport. There's a lot of stuff going on right now in the world, though. You're a proud American dude. He's obviously a Russian guy. Arguably, relations between the countries worse as it's been in a very long time.
Not very good, right?
Not good right now, obviously, with what's going on in Ukraine.
Yeah,
of
course.
Do you think about any of that stuff? Hey, it's USA versus Russia. Any of that enter your mind?
A little bit. It is USA versus Russia. It's USA versus Team Fedor.
Yeah,
and he's a Russian team, and
Yeah.
It is what it is, But a funny story is I actually trained with Yaroslav Amosov. He is the welterweight champion of Bellator.
Right.
And he fought in the war. And he's a really good dude, man. He's one of my main training partners for this camp. I don't really take sides. I'm Team USA.
Sure.
It's not like I hate Russians.
No.
Actually, there's a lot of Russians at our gym I train with. I have a lot of respect for them.
Yeah.
Not trying to make it anything political, but it's just coming down to fight night. It's USA versus Team Fedor / Russia, and that's it,
So go USA.
Yeah, go USA. America. Fuck
it's like a Rocky. It's like Rocky.
Yeah. A little bit, right? Yeah.
It's like Rocky.
MMA version of Rocky, Yeah.
You got anything? Yeah.
Tanner, hit me up.
Hit him with
some questions.
Give him a hard question. And these guys, by the way, are friends. Have been friends for a long time. Went to college together.
Very long time. He told TMZ about me when they had no clue. And now
I will vouch for that because he said you got to talk to my guy Johnny before Johnny was champion, and now here we are.
Everybody wanted to interview after he did it with us. But I was gonna ask you how you think your different style of workouts with the functional patterns and stuff would set you above your opponent.
I think it sets me apart because I'm continually getting better and getting more athletic as I age. You usually don't see that.
Right. It's usually the opposite way.
It's usually the opposite. You usually slow down and move worse.
Yeah.
But since I've been doing FP, I've reduced the pain I have. I reduced like injuries, serious injuries that I get, and I'm moving better and feeling better than ever. I feel like I'm getting younger. I'm more athletic than I was in my 20s.
Wow.
When I was wrestling in college at the highest level at NCAA's.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What explain what the functional movements are? What is that if somebody doesn't know?
So FP, functional patterns, is like a training system that really focuses on standing, walking, running, and throwing.
Okay.
They're the 4 fundamentals of like human movement. So if your workouts don't stem back to these 4 fundamentals, they're probably flawed in some way, because most like strength conditioning workouts only work in one plane, like deadlifts, squats, bench press. You're really only working in a longitudinal plane.
Gotcha.
You're not using
Just
any
standing and
rotation.
lifting straight, right.
Yeah. You're not using, when you walk and run and throw, you're moving in 3D space.
Right.
And there's not very many training systems that replicate that. And if they do, they're kind of sloppy. They're not accounting for a lot of movement patterns that FP is accounting for.
That's incredibly interesting. How'd you get into that? Where'd that come from?
Dude, I was riddled with injuries throughout college and throughout my career, and then I was dealing with chronic pain issues, and then I came across it on Instagram.
Wow.
And then I got in touch with the founder, Nadia Aguilar, and then he kind of streamlined me in, and I got to meet Kyle Dake. Kyle Dake was training with him at the time.
Wow.
And yeah, because Kyle was doing the same thing. Kyle was riddled with injuries throughout after college, and he was about to retire.
Wow.
And then he ended up finding FP, started adopting their protocols and turned his career around. I mean, he's a Olympic bronze medalist, a multiple-time world champion, and I'm just another athlete that's taking on the same protocols and taking on the same mentality and becoming a world champion. And I plan on being a multiple-time world champion.
Hey, if you have you and Kyle Dake vouching for that, not bad.
Yeah.
Right. Not too bad. You mentioned Fedor before. Likely going to be Fedor's last fight here, right?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be his last fight. We were in the presser, and he's like, I'm done.
I'm done. Right.
I'm done.
Right.
He's like, I'm too old.
Right.
I'm done.
How about that? I know it's probably a little strange because Tokov is trained by him, so sort of the enemy, for lack of a better term here. But how about being on a card with this guy who, when the MMA history books are written, I mean, he's Fedor.
Of course, yeah. He's one of the main guys that when you talk about MMA, his name pops up in my brain.
Yeah.
Like the messed up thing is though, the one fight that I recall when you talk about Fedor, because I'm a big Dan Henderson fan.
Yeah.
Huge Dan Henderson fan when I was growing up, because I wrestled, he wrestled, and I was always rooting for the American guy, the American wrestler. Yeah. And when he knocked out Fedor, because there's such a big size difference, and Fedor was a legend and like a killer.
Right.
And then
shocking.
like this middleweight comes in and frickin' just puts him away. I'm just like, that's insane. And the fight's insane too. But Fedor will always be a legend. I'm glad to be a part of MMA history and be on this card on CBS. It's just awesome. What
was Hendo that guy for you when you were growing up? Was he the guy who said, like, fair to say, like, one of your influences, one of the reasons you got into this sport?
For sure. I would say Dan Henderson, Sugar Rashad Evans, John Jones, King Mo Law. He's my coach now. It's so awesome. There's countless like guys that had wrestling backgrounds. I always like kind of gravitated towards them because I'm like, hey, I wrestled. I can do this too. Like Tyron Woodley, Ben Askren, Michael Chandler, all those guys. Those guys are from Mizzou.
Of course, you know those, right?
Yeah.
They're older than you, but you have a relationship with those guys, right?
Well, more a relationship with Tyron Woodley. I don't really have a relationship with Ben Askren or Michael Chandler. I'm just kind of doing like, they came from the same school as me.
In ways, you're really similar to Tyron, though, right? In that you can knock somebody out, right? Yeah. But obviously, if it ends up on the ground, you're obviously clearly comfortable there.
Yeah, I got a good gas tank, and I like to use my whole set of MMA skills. Not to say Tyron doesn't, but I feel like Tyron fell in love with his hands a little bit.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, he was cold cocking dudes, though. So like, I would too.
Half a step back and boom.
If I started cold cocking fools, I'll probably maybe I shouldn't wrestle
then?
Yeah,
throw one punch and go home.
Yeah, but I'm glad to see Tyron like still doing his thing and get into the boxing world, and shout out to him.
Man. Yeah, he's still making
awesome.
money.
Yeah,
that's good.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And then like this week too, you've become like the big betting favorite, and as well as it being on CBS, like How does it feel to like finally get like the recognition you should get?
I just feel like it's deserved. Like I've got what I've deserved. I've worked so hard to be really good at my craft, and people underestimated me, and it's expected to be underestimated. It's just nice to see people kind of see what I'm seeing, you know. Oh, Johnny's good. Johnny's a betting favorite. I think Johnny's going to beat this cat. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I thought the whole time. I thought the same exact thing. I thought the same exact thing against Gegard, but everybody was counting me out. Yeah. But now people are just starting to see what I'm seeing.
Do you have to adjust your mindset? We've seen before, not necessarily just in fighting, but in other sports, you have doubters, and that's a rallying cry sometimes. But then people start to believe in you, and you start to believe, hey man, I'm the shit, for lack of a better term. Do you have to just tell yourself, hey, I got to stay focused, remain doing what I've done to win this belt?
1,000% right. You're spot on. That's exactly like.
Why, thank you.
No, you're spot on, because that's literally what I do.
Yeah,
I'm like, I can't let my head get too big.
Yeah.
You got to do exactly what you did to get here, man.
Right.
And that's what got you that belt. So you can't steer clear of what created success.
Right.
Don't change too much. Don't fix it if it ain't broke, you know? So I do believe in myself more, for sure. Every fight I win, every sparring session I have, that I have a good sparring session, I believe more and more in myself. But there's always going to be doubt that creeps in no matter what. It's just a process of working through it, believing in yourself, and just continually going out there and putting out results. So that's spot on, though. Like, don't get too big of a head, and every accomplishment that you have, don't put it up on a pedestal, you know, because there's always the next big thing you can do.
You got to keep staying grounded. I know you obviously don't want to lose, but how important is having that it's not something you see very often, not with a guy who has 11 fights in MMA, right? It's not boxing.
Yeah.
You know, we know there's so many ways to lose in this sport. How important is that to remain undefeated?
It's really not that important to me. At the end of the day, it's just a number, and fighting is just a sport, and it's just for entertainment. Out of all the things that are happening in the world, this is not a very big deal. So I don't really weigh it that highly, and I think that's why I'm so relaxed during fight week, because I don't really care that much, you know? I just want to go out and fight and put on the best performance and show the best Johnny Eblen possible. And if I win or lose that night, it is what it is. As long as I put 100% effort and I brought the best Johnny Eblen, that's all I can do. If he's the better man that night, he's the better man. But I really like my chances.
It's remarkable how relaxed you are.
Yeah.
Like, I may come on Saturday, I feel like I'm more stressed about getting a parking spot at the arena. Like,
honestly, I get more stressed out about getting parking than fucking fighting.
You know, right?
There's some things that stress me out more in life that are like, I'm like, am I crazy? Like, I'm more relaxed about a fight than I am about other things in my life sometimes. Like, it's just
you're
weird.
so relaxed.
Yeah,
There's just, I guess the only difference with a fight and like real life scenarios is real life scenarios like pop up really quickly.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I have to deal with this in an instant.
Right.
Whereas like a fight's like, okay, I know I'm going to fight on this day.
At that time.
So it's like, okay, yeah. So it's like you have to kind of prepare yourself for it.
Right.
But it's just interesting, like human behavior and human like response when it comes to like stressors. Yeah. It's just like a different type of stressor. But it's like I'm getting really, really good at learning how to deal with stressors.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that goes back to FP too. So it's just
it all goes back. Hey.
Yeah.
You've got to be nervous when you're in the locker room before you're about to go out there, right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just uncertainty.
Right.
You know? You're not sure what's going to happen.
Right.
You can't be certain of anything in life. Yeah. So what I personally do is I just try to keep it relaxed.
Right.
And I try not to overhype myself up, because I know when I walk out, seeing the crowd, and like, I'm about to get locked in a cage with another animal that's trying to take my head off. That's going to freaking pump me up. I don't need to get pumped up before the pump up. I don't want to have an adrenaline dump when I get in there.
And then you're shot once you're in the cage.
I just make sure I'm loose, ready to go, ready to fight, you know. And I kind of do my sparring sessions kind of like that. I warm up. Yeah. I don't warm up too much. I don't warm up not enough, you know, just the right amount. And boom, okay, we got 25 minutes. Let's go. Right. It's time to get in a fist fight, you know?
Yeah. It's incredible. I mean, just going out there, you're standing out there, you're in these little shorts, locked in a cage with this guy.
Shirtless.
You got to fight, right? Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to stand out there, period. No less fighting, but it's insane.
It's fun, man. It's just, it's fun. Like, there's no other way to really explain it. But it's just like, I feel like I'm actually expressing myself when it comes to fighting, if that makes any sense. Like when I used to compete in wrestling, I was just like, man, there's too many rules.
Right.
Like I can only grapple.
Right.
We only I don't like this.
Right.
It's like I felt like I couldn't fully express my athletic abilities. But then when fighting came around and I saw, I'm like, dude, this is the sport.
Did you think you were gonna wind up in the profession like this when you were at the gym?
I had no clue. It just kind of fell in my lap, but I've always had an interest in it. I just never had an outlet. And when I moved to South Florida, that's when I found that outlet.
What'd your parents say when you told them the first time?
My dad was like ecstatic. He's like, "Yeah, this
really?
is awesome, son."
Mom, not
this
so
is so
much?
cool. Yeah, my brother used to fight.
Oh, okay.
He fought amateur back in Missouri.
Oh, nice.
He wrestled at Missouri Valley and no, not Missouri Valley, Central Missouri State.
Nice.
But he ended up, quitting all that,
Right.
and now he has a full-time job, a family, and he's a family man.
Right.
I'm like he's like so proud of me.
Really?
He's like, dude, what the heck? Like,
right. You did.
I'm the one that started this,
Right,
and
and
you took it to a whole nother level.
Right. Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah. I did the same thing with wrestling. Like I took it to a whole nother level when I went to D1 Missouri and went to NCAAs and stuff.
You gotta stop one-upping your brother.
I'm not
right?
trying to one-up it. Maybe I am. What the hell? That's kind of funny.
When you want to be a fighter, I'm going to be the Bellator champion.
I looked up to my brother Tommy a lot when I was growing up because he was always like, the older brother. Everyone was scared of him in high school. He used to if you talk shit to him, he'd beat him up right away. Like, dude, if you made fun of him, you were getting beat up.
Right there on
he
the
knew
spot.
he was a black belt in Taekwondo and
No
shit.
way.
Dude, he was head kicking people.
Oh, that's too good.
Yeah. And then I don't know, I always looked up to my brother, and then I remember he just would work so hard, and I mean the chips didn't fall where he wanted when it came to a fight career and all that other stuff, so he decided to go a different route. He's very successful in what he does. So I think I don't know, I stuck with it, and I eventually found a way to make money and really make a profession out of it. And I don't know, dude, it's cool. I love my life every day, and I'm living a dream,
Okay.
Incredible. You saying something?
Yeah. I was gonna.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're
Go
good.
ahead.
You're
Yeah.
good. Go off on your end, dude. No, I was gonna ask you too, with the mental stuff you were talking about a second ago. Do you think that the way you with your diet and the different holistic things sunning, you do sun your balls, right?
Yeah, I sun my balls.
Oh, dude. How do you do that?
I just hang outside naked,
Okay.
because that's what millions of years.
You have a house or an apartment?
I have a house.
Okay,
a house.
good. I was gonna
a private gated backyard with a pool, but
I'm trying to think where I'm gonna do this in my apartment. And,
you might not be able to do that. You might get a police.
I think so. This is gonna be
a knock at your door.
Right.
Sir, are you exposing your genitals?
TMZ might cover my arrest. We'll see.
Oh, that's funny.
But would you say that stuff kind of helps with your mental and stuff
course.
And then
anything,
I can't remember what your diet was either.
I do an animal-based diet for the most part. It's meat, organs, dairy, raw dairy if I can. It's really hard to get in Florida. It's actually really easy to get in California.
Yep.
I kind of wish that
right.
Florida would take some of the things that Cali does and implement it. But
interesting.
Raw dairy, honey. I said fruit already, right? So fruit, meat, organs, raw dairy, and then I'll do white rice here and there and sweet potatoes here and there. But I stay away from most vegetables.
You said you're eating raw organs?
Not raw.
Not okay.
Well, I get
obviously think of Liver King and all that stuff.
I get heart and soil supplement. Well, that guy's a fucking fraud. Carnivore MD.
So we found out, right?
Or Saladino's legit.
That's the guy.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the guy. He's more legit.
Yeah.
Some of the training exercises he puts out there though are kind of
Yeah.
He does band work and stuff and I don't know. When it comes to diet, he's spot on.
Right.
And a lot of other things that he talks about, when it comes to health, very spot on. But when it comes to training and working out, I think he needs to investigate FP a little bit more.
Hey, you swear by this.
I do, man. It changed my life.
Those videos are
They're crazy,
wild.
man. They're wild, right?
Because it'll show them stuck, hunched over, and then they'll be kind of running.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's taking all those principles, first principles of living in accordance to natural law and moving in accordance to how you are supposed to move, how you evolve to move through. If you believe in evolution, you evolve to move a certain way. That's why you develop glutes,
right?
Because we stand upright. Monkeys don't have glutes because they're all on all fours.
Yep.
So that's why they don't have butt cheeks. We have butt cheeks because we stand upright and we
Right.
propel ourselves forward with our ass, literally.
Right.
but the more precise you are when you move throughout space, the better you're gonna feel.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's all based on kind of when we would have been hunting and gathering kind of situation. Or?
Similar, but it's you also have to you also have to see like, okay, well, we're an intelligent species. We develop tech and stuff.
Yep.
You can't let you use the tech in a manner that's going to be regenerative. Like you're going to use it to a benefit.
Right.
But some people, use it too much to where it's like a detriment to their health. So like for example, all this artificial light, it's okay during the day, but if you're exposing yourself to artificial light late at night, you're messing up your circadian rhythm. You're messing up a lot of things.
Right.
Your body didn't evolve over millions of years to artificial light. It evolved to the sun.
Right.
So that's why getting outside and like the whole sunning your nuts thing is important.
Yeah.
It's actually like you develop more vitamin D when you expose your genitals than if you expose the rest of your body. They actually have a study on that. I would have to look. It's kind of old, but they like took blood tests or something like that.
And I want to let you go, Johnny, because I know you.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that you don't seem like you have a fight, I know you have one.
I'm over
So
here
I don't want to
talking
take too.
about
No, I
sunning your
love
nuts,
it. No, I'm
vitamin
going to ask you more about that. I
Holistic
just
living.
I don't want to make you sit here all day with us.
Yeah.
How? Tell me about that. Do you believe that actually has made a real difference?
Yes.
And how do you do it? How does it work?
So there's basically just protocols you need to follow to be a healthy person, like a healthy human being, based off what we know at this time. It might change in the future depending on like what new like studies come out or so on and so forth. But there's protocols they set forth to be a healthy human, like diet, like your sleep hygiene, your like a bunch of like how you train, what your daily habits are. A lot of that stuff. And I think it really helped me really hone in on like what I care about in my life, like my health. And it's just making me a better athlete at the end of the day because I'm a healthy human. Yeah. Does that make any sense? Like,
absolutely.
Because it's like if I'm not going out drinking and smoking, chasing women all the time, that's probably going to have a detriment on my health, and I'm probably not going to do my job as well. Especially my job is to go fight other people. Right. It's if I had like a desk job, it probably even then it'd probably affect my ability to
get
work.
away with it a little more though.
So
right?
yeah, exactly. You can get away with it more. So I just prioritize, my health over social stuff, like drink and smoke. Yeah. Well, actually, some of that's not completely social. Some of it's like, well, it's like it's a small getaway, a small escape. Right. Like getting drunk, okay, I feel good for a few hours, but then the next day you have a hangover. Right. Yeah. So it's like, not instant gratification, but delayed gratification. Right. I'm starting to hone in more on the delayed gratification.
I love it. Before we let you go, anything you'd say to your opponent?
Good luck, bro. I'm coming after your ass. I'm going to whoop your ass. And every single facet of the game. Can't wait.
Can't wait.
But all respect. All respect.
Right?
All respect. But in all legitimacy, like I respect the guy.
Yeah. What do you think when you play this thing out in your mind, like I'm sure you do you see it ending in a particular round, and how do you see yourself winning?
I never really try to predict what's going to happen. I just try to go moment by moment. If I finish him in the first, I do. I'm just going to go out there, execute my game plan, and do what I always do and fight my fight.
There it is. It's Bellator 290 Saturday. If you're not out here in LA, CBS.
Let's
Paramount
go.
Plus.
Easy.
Me and Quinn want to see some shuffling after the.
I'll hit a shuffle after. I'll hit a shuffle after. Let's go.